minutes away here.
The one thing that I'm seeing with everybody, once we're getting to here, like if I'm holding this arm like way out here, this is not as much of an advantage for me. Like yes, I have his wrist control, but then like you guys are like real lazy with this arm that's in the armpit. You guys are like grabbing on their bicep like this. Like there's really not much control here. And so all that's gonna happen, he's gonna circle out front, and all I have is this. Like there's not really much I can do to stop him from that. Like we want this tucked to our chest. Like I want this tight. I'm pulling this here, and this arm is like, if without it, I'm like this. Like his arm is pulled across, so I have it tight. There's pressure down and into him, so I should be here. He should be uncomfortable in this position. When I have it out here, it gives him all the space in the world to be able to do that pry or pop his wrist off, and now we're back to square one and I've got nothing. But if I've got this jacked up and it's all the way over here, he can't even reach across to pry off. That's where I've got this offense, and now I can start to work in here. If we're out here, there's a lot of space. If I'm hitting the move, when you're on offense, you almost never want space. Never. I want this as tight to me as possible. I've got this pressure. It's pressure on his elbow, it's pressure on his shoulder. I've got his wrist turned here. I've got control in this position. He's not gonna counter from here. So for you guys that are just kind of like, we're just kind of getting real lazy and hanging here, that's not what we want. That's just not good technique. And like, we don't want to work that because in the match, it's not going to help you. This is a very useful move. That's a great setup for so many other things. Whether you're getting to an underhook, there's shots, there's a ton of throws from here that work both in freestyle, Greco, and in folk style. Most people are really uncomfortable here, both on offense and defense. Most people don't work enough in this position. This is a great position to be in because of how much control you have. If you're doing the move, you own their arm. It's yours. It should be tight to your chest, it should be pulled across, and this arm should be jacked up in the armpit and pulling it tight to you. They shouldn't be able to just move their arm loosey-goosey and do whatever they want with it. It should be tight and you have control because you're gonna be moving them. You're not just sitting here to hold it. We're moving, we're pulling back, we're stepping, we're getting them to turn. We're then going to our offense. It's the same with the collar tie. We don't just sit in the collar tie. We're not just hanging out here. We're using it to set up and move, and that's the same with this. Get it, pull it tight, and set up and move. Those counters go away.
In reality, it's going to make it a lot more real. I mean, Coach and I would have shown if we were loose because we're trying to show the counters, but in reality, a good, tight 2-on-1, it's hard to counter out. So, I mean, we don't want to, so, I mean, we can get that feel a little bit. That's where, honestly, where I really work to get my head position because this is hard to clear. So if I get my head position, now I can focus on getting my hand clear, right? So, I mean, we're probably not doing a good service to you on giving you a good, realistic, live look right now.